What's up, everybody? Welcome to Just Because Gaming. My name is Michael,
And I'm Ray.
and thank you for joining us. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe. Please subscribe. We're trying to up our numbers. And with all that being said, let's just jump into it.
So with all of the RAM shortage and high prices of all the computer components and everything's going on, a lot of the consoles are talking about delaying the release, which hasn't been a big deal to most people. PS6 saying they're going to delay their release to, say, 2028 to maybe as late as 2030. Doesn't really seem to bother people too much because they haven't really reached the full potential of the PS5. So, yeah, no problem there. Xbox, however, is taking a different approach. They're going to stick to their guns and try to release, and definitely want to release by 2027, end of 2027. According to resources coming through and reporting it from AMD, all of this is coming into place. They're getting the stuff they need. They supposedly bought a bunch of RAM in one letter. I guess it was an internal memo or something like that. They bought a whole lot of RAM, but then another part of the memo says that it's meant for AI usage. But maybe, it's possible they bought that RAM and enough RAM as well to do their consoles. They're only talking about producing maybe 10 to 15 million of these next-gen consoles because it's supposed to be a boutique-type item where it's, able to do so much more than a regular console would, being a PC hybrid. We'll have to wait and see what that really entails. But they're releasing it. They've said that they want it released by 2027. That's could be a good thing for Xbox because nobody else is releasing a console at that point. That's good. They don't have to worry about competing with another console at that time. However, the price point on this thing, they're talking about two different SKUs and releasing it for as much as the first SKU being around $1,100-$1,200. The second higher end version with more memory and all, talking about $1,500 possibly. These are all rumors. We don't know anything. Nothing's been confirmed. Nothing's been announced. I would hope they could get it way below that price because that's, your average gamer is definitely not chucking out $1,500 for a PC console hybrid.
Yeah, especially considering that for a lot of the gamers, gaming as a whole has always been, kind of a family-friendly affair. That's why the Nintendo family of consoles has always done so well because they've been affordably priced and, they're not so focused on graphics and, the hottest games. They're just, games that you can have fun with on the couch with your family. We were just playing Nintendo Switch earlier today. We were playing Mario Party. So, it's interesting to see the difference in dynamics there. Now, for an Xbox that costs $1,500 or anything over $1,000, I just can't see that being reasonable. I feel like Xbox is kind of shooting themselves in the foot, and then they're going to blame the fans for them being shot in the foot. Oh yeah, we're going to make this console and we're going to, it's going to be a very high-end console for elite gamers and everything. And then they're going to complain, be like, well, nobody supported us, so we have to close down, or they're going to, like I've mentioned before, they're going to end up selling to, another manufacturer like Asus or something. It'll be like how the ROG Ally X is, the Xbox ROG Ally X, where it's just Xbox will stop being a physical product and start being a brand. And so, you'll have Asus make Xboxes, or you'll have Lenovo make Xboxes, or whatever. Let us know what you think. If that's the case, please let us know in the comments below. If Xbox was to go over $1,000 for their next console, would y'all get it? Because honestly, I think if the next Xbox is over $1,000, I think I'm done with Xbox at that point. I think I'll just play on the PlayStation, especially if Xbox is over $1,000 and PlayStation's at like $600 or $700. Yeah, that's fine. That they kind of price me out at that point.
The next PlayStation is not going to be $600 or $700. You're looking at probably $900 to $1,000 for that one at least. So that's just the price of doing business anymore with anything that uses RAM.
Well, I don't think that's going to be the case because, like you just said, with PlayStation waiting till almost 2030, they're expecting this big RAM apocalypse to have subsided by like 2027, 2028. So that's probably why they're doing that. They're probably waiting for RAM prices to normalize and, all this AI infrastructure to already be in place so that they can resume, manufacturing consoles.
We can hope. We can definitely hope. Of course, Steam Machine has pushed theirs off, kind of hoping for that, I guess, to happen, but not nearly as far. I think they were scheduled for like late 2026, and now they're probably looking at maybe early 2027 for theirs, and they haven't announced a price yet. Everybody was predicting $700-800, but they may be pushing closer to $900 to $1,000 to $1,000 for this Steam machine, which is supposed to be much more powerful than a PS5 Pro. So I don't know. That doesn't. It will be a. It's sort of a PC hybrid too, but it's a Linux based system instead of the Windows. I don't
Yeah.
know how much better that'll work. I would want to see it in action for a while before I considered buying one of those myself, especially since I don't have anything invested really in the Steam marketplace. Most of mine's on Xbox.
Well, I think the Steam machine can also can't the Steam machine also run the Xbox Marketplace? I thought it could.
Well, I think I know the new Xbox is supposed to be able to run the Steam marketplace. I don't know if the Steam machine's gonna have Xbox's Game Pass and Marketplace on there as well. I know they'll
Well,
have, they have PC games that are from Xbox Studios on the Steam marketplace, just like they have some PlayStation ones as well, but,
we'll
yeah, I
do
don't
some
know if they'll
research
have
and
that
we'll
marketplace.
yeah, we'll do some research and we'll put something up like over here or over here or something saying yes, it does or no, it doesn't. But I would assume that for Steam, that they definitely want to have the Xbox Marketplace because it has Game Pass, or at least even if you're not going to have the entire Xbox Marketplace,
Right?
have Game Pass available, because
Yeah,
that's
they should
huge
just
for
because
people.
Game Pass they want everybody in Game Pass they can get, even though they've raised that price so high.
Yeah.
Which, that could be an incentive for people, if you're gonna raise the price way up to $1,500, okay, well, along with the purchase of that console, give me a year of Game Pass. That's a $360 value. It's not cost them anything physically, and it's getting people into their marketplace, and it used to Game Pass. After somebody playing on Game Pass for a year, getting all those games, they might keep going with that, even at the higher price, because you kinda get used to having access to all of that.
Well, I
And,
think
like I said, that offsets a lot of the cost. You're talking about $360 value. That just brought your $1,500 console down to what, 1150.
Yeah, well, I think they're gonna keep going as far as Xbox goes. I think they're gonna keep going with that financing route because you can go onto Xbox and you can finance an Xbox and, make like monthly payments. I think it takes like 2 years to pay it off, but you can
Mhm.
make like smaller monthly payments. It'll be paid off within a year or two. But I want to say that while you're doing that, either you get Game Pass Ultimate for a year or you get Game Pass Ultimate for as long as you're financing it.
Yeah, I think it's included as long as you're financing. At least it
Yeah.
was last time I looked at that.
So, I mean, that would be an option, and that's another question for you all. If Xbox were to offer financing for their consoles, let's go with a grand. Let's go with $1,000. If the next Xbox costs $1,000 and they offer 2 years financing, that's what, like roughly $50 a month, I think? Yeah,
Sure.
roughly $50 a month. So if Xbox offers financing for 2 years at $50 a month, and the console's $1,000, would you finance an Xbox, especially if Game Pass was included for 2 years? At $50 a month? I don't know. I don't know. That's tricky, especially including Game Pass.
Well, if it included
If it was
Game
Game
Pass, I
Pass
mean,
Ult
that's a $30 value in itself. So
yeah,
paying
because
$20
then
a month for the console.
then you're basically yeah, you're paying $20 a month for the console. That's tough.
Yeah.
Oh, that's tough. I don't know. I don't know. My financial side is saying, on one hand, don't finance anything. On the other hand, it's like, but that's only $50 a month. You spend more than that in gas or groceries. So I don't know. I don't know. Let
Right?
us know if you would finance an Xbox for $50 a month for 2 years if it included Game Pass Ultimate. I'd be very curious to find out. But
Yeah. The other thing that could make this value of an Xbox better is, with your PC, you can customize and add lighting and add all kinds of things to it to make it more interesting. Little view screens that show you the temperature and things like that on it. If they make this a very customizable console, people like to be able to customize their stuff. If they can do that with this console, not only could they boost their sales on all the little gadgets and things they could sell for it, but that's a big incentive for people to buy this because people like to customize their stuff. I like it. I mean, why not, right?
yeah, I mean, that would be cool. I don't know
I know
necessarily.
Steam Machine's doing it with their faceplate that goes on their console, and you can even print your own faceplate, like 3D print it out to be whatever you want it to be. So you can, they're fine with you doing that, and they're going to sell custom faceplates as well. So
Yeah, I mean
that'd be a good thing.
yeah,
And
it's
that's
the
just a
same.
small thing,
And the same thing is with the PlayStation 5, even though it looks like a router with those little,
right? The
sides.
stupid pins.
Yeah, they do make replacements for those. So if you go to PlayStation and you look at their cases or whatever it's called, they make different ones. So they have like a whole bunch of sports ones for like your favorite football teams. They've got camo, they've got all kinds of stuff, and sometimes they have limited runs. Like they had the Spider-Man 2 ones where it was like Venom coming across it, and that was sick. I actually got that case for my brother-in-law. So you're welcome. But yeah, If Xbox did the same thing where you could remove, like, side panels or something and swap them out and upgrade it and, say
Or
you're
even imagine
feeling.
adding a clear panel to it and then have lighting on the inside of it. That would be sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely doable.
Yeah.
I would totally get it if there were certain games, like, for me, I'm a huge and Ray and I, have talked about this recently, like, what's our top 3 games? What's our top 5 games? If I had cases for my top 3 or top 5 games, then I could swap them out because I'm most likely playing one of those games, like, say, Assassin's Creed, yeah, I'm gonna be playing Assassin's Creed every year, so if they made Assassin's Creed fins, then, hey, cases, then I'll just slap those sides on and, whenever I'm playing Assassin's Creed for, like, 2 months straight, you know?
Yeah. What I would have always liked to have seen, because they made the wraps for the Xbox Series X. But okay, I buy a wrap for this game, say the Doom one that they made. They made one for Doom. Okay, I'm done playing Doom. I might get tired of this. Make something that's smaller, almost like a tile. So here's one for Doom. Here's one for Assassin's Creed. For each game that comes out, I can add a tile. And then you've got all these games represented on there that you've played. And I just like that idea better. You know what I mean?
You basically want your console to basically be a refrigerator with little
That's it.
refrigerator magnets.
Or refrigerator magnets.
Well, I mean, sure, I mean,
I mean, why not?
you honestly wouldn't be able to do that because electronics and magnets don't actually
No,
they're not
it
too
couldn't be a
friendly with each
magnet,
other.
but you could make that sleeve that was, say, Velcro, and these things Velcroed to it or something like that. I mean, there's other ways they could do it.
Yeah, they could always do it like those military backpacks that have the little, like, loops, and you could just, like, slide something into one of those loops,
Sure,
something
sure.
like that. But yeah, that'd definitely be cool.
Microsoft, if you wanna use my idea, go ahead, royalties, we'll work that out later.
Yeah, for real.
But, that's it for our show today. Thanks for joining us. Like Mike said, like, subscribe, check out our other videos. We'd really appreciate it, and leave comments. Let us know how we can get better and other things you might wanna hear us talk about. Appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time. Later.
Peace.